Sports Talk 1080 The Team, Orlando's Tuck and O'Neill. With Mike Tuck, I'm Jerry O'Neill, holding a football in kind of an awkward position because I have an inappropriate logo on my polo. Okay, now let's talk.
Can't take you anywhere.
We are going to talk about the expectations, what we think are in store for the three in-state NFL football teams. I want to start with Jacksonville. Last year, Jacksonville was, 3-13? Tampa Bay 2-14. Are they going to be better? I think Jacksonville has the chance to be significantly better. And I admit, I'm a Blake Bortles guy, a UCF guy, so I'm hoping against hope that that's the case. It's a very difficult start schedule-wise. I think they need to win their first game at home, weekend one against Carolina. They've got games coming up at home to Miami, at New England, at Indianapolis, then at Tampa Bay. That's the opening 5 weeks. They lose a home game by playing Buffalo overseas in London. But what I saw in the preseason, I think they can take to the field in the regular season. They have a better offense. Bortles is obviously a part of that. I worry about them defensively. They're not as deep as what you would like on your roster, but I think they have a chance to win 7 games.
They had the worst offense in the league last year, and they were the 26th ranked defense in the league, so they got to improve in a lot of areas. The offensive line is of great concern. Losing Julius Thomas for his first month of the season on an offense that I don't think has a whole lot of weapons is a big negative. And I agree with you about the schedule. They lose to Carolina. They're going 0 for the first month, and it's always tough for a young team to climb out of that kind of a hole.
Correct.
I look at a 2-win team, a team that struggled. They already lost their first-round pick. Devastating loss before we even got to camp. So I'm saying that for Jacksonville, I think it's reasonable to get to 5 or 6 wins. I don't think I'm expecting much more than that, though. They still have a lot of holes on the roster. Even if Bortles improves, you're talking about best-case scenario getting it to, the 20th ranked offense, and still that's obviously nowhere near the top, and the defense still has problems, too.
Let's talk about Tampa Bay. They won 2 games a year ago, got the first pick in the draft. That meant they had the chance, and then drafted Marcus, make that Jameis Winston.
They had the choice.
Yeah, they did. Marcus will play there in week 1. That's going to be interesting. But what I saw in the preseason scares me. Yes, they've got weapons on the outside for Winston. He's got to love that. But can you give him enough time in the pocket and be upright? And I'm worried about that offensive line play.
Well, when you go out and pitch basically a disaster in free agency a couple of years ago and you're having to strip your team down of all those mistakes, it's like hitting the reset button again, and unfortunately for them, that's something they're still trying to recover from. Defensively, they were bad. They were 25th in the league. Offensively, they were 29th in the league. So they have a long way to go to get near the top. Winston should be better than the combination we saw last year, McCown and Glennon. They still don't look like they're going to be able to run the ball very effectively, which is a big problem for a rookie quarterback. Yeah. We saw at Florida State a lot of interceptions. I expect a lot of mistakes, a lot of great plays. Week 1's a very winnable game for them. Yeah, Tennessee has a chance to be the worst team in the league, too, as well as Tampa Bay. So that's a very big game for them if they want to try to get up. I'm saying 5 wins probably, 6 wins at the most, but not a whole lot better for Tampa Bay this year.
Doug Martin looked better in the preseason than what we saw at any time last year, but you wonder whether he can stay healthy. Miami is a different story. 8-8 each of the last 2 seasons. It's been way too long since they've been a contender. And they may wear that crown this year, right?
I think they will. I really do. I'm as confident as a Dolphin fan in the Miami Dolphins since Dan Marino was playing quarterback. And that's no joke. They've made the playoffs a couple of times, but I never had the confidence level in a team as I do in this one that went out and did all the right things in free agency. I mean, I outlined the receiving core needs to be completely revamped. They got rid of everybody except for Jarvis Landry and Rashard Matthews, and they brought in a whole new group of guys that I think will better fit the scheme of Bill Lazor's offense. It's a team that's gotten better on offense the last handful of years. The offensive line is still of some concern, especially early in the year until Brandon Albert gets back at left tackle. Defensively, though, Sue's presence is going to make them so much better. The defensive line, the front 4 or 5 rushing the passer, I think they're going to be terrific. The back half, there's some question marks, admittedly, but I think in a division where 2 teams are offensively bad in Buffalo and New York, despite their great defenses, and New England with a lot of losses off last year's roster, I think Miami wins 11. I think they compete for the division crown. They might win the division crown, and if they do that, you're talking about having home field in the second round. You win a game in the second round, you're playing for the conference title.
High expectations for the Miami Dolphins as it compares to the other 2. We'll play it out all year long and we'll be discussing it every day, weekdays 3 to 6. NFL college football talk every day with Sports Talk 1080 The Team Orlando.